Hello everybody, how is it going? So we are back up at the dizzying height of... It's 662. I'm literally re-recording this 2 minutes afterwards because I put myself in the wrong corner. That will become evident later on. But I've dropped one place down in the world, but still pretty high. And I think that gives us the right to sort of impart our wisdom on everybody else again. What I'm going to do is I've selected 5 sort of like unique locations, parts of the world, and some sort of like key signifiers about these areas to help you get them. It's not really that meta based. I know someone in the comments asked for like a meta video. I'm not really that guy. I'm more of a no move NMPZ sort of player. So like your landscapes and your vibes, that's sort of my forte. And I just think if you're playing moving, then yeah, you'll come across those metas like a lot more often. But certainly on the current maps, a lot of it is just vibes based. So, and the landscape and the vibes will always be there. You know, that's what you're looking at. So yeah, hopefully these are ones that I sort of think they're quite unique and quite helpful if you can learn them. So without further ado, we will get straight into it. Right then, so I've got the map making app open here, which is a tool that I really should use more. And the first sort of, I'm gonna call it meta because it is still a meta, even if it is not man-made. But it's the sort of Scandinavian rocks that you find certainly in the coastal areas of the Scandinavian countries, and I mean, you do find them further up the coast here, and I mean, Norway is very, very rocky, but it's a certain kind of rock, and I always think it's like below Stockholm-ish, so sort of around about there in Sweden. If I see sort of this, you know, by the side, exposed rock like this, I'll open it up in here. But yeah, lots and sort of like stuff like this, certainly in the interior around here, you're not going to find it as much. So if I look in here as well, if you see anything like this by the side of the road, I always like to think southern half or coastal. See this? Yeah, you don't tend to find them inland. You can find them inland in the south, but definitely along the coast. So it's both coasts. You see here as well. And I've got another one here, and then yeah, as we move closer to sort of Norway, they become, I mean, it's kind of hard to explain how it is, but like craggier, if that makes sense. But if you look over here as well, so that's, yeah, it's a big, and I mean, if you go along the Norwegian southern coast, I mean, they get quite insane. But yeah, smaller ones as well. You get them in Finland, so I've got like this. So yeah, certainly in the southern half of Finland. And again, I'd like to think more coastal, more western. I've got one up here just to... I had 2 up there just to show you. But yeah, I've got one up here just to show you that it does find further up. But, I mean, it's quite hard a country, Sweden, to region guess. And you can get caught out in terms of... you can get locks down here, which you're like, oh my god, I'm so sure it's here, and it's there, and vice versa, as with a lot of the Scandinavian countries. But yeah, hopefully it's a tool that might come in handy for you. I mean, if you see sort of, yeah, exposed rocks by the side of the road, I would guess in the southern half of Sweden, if you know you're in Sweden, and vice versa for the other Scandinavian countries. Also Estonia a bit along the coast. I've just remembered that. And I mean, you should know, well, most of the time you should know between the US and Sweden, but if you know you're in the US and you see sort of exposed rocks as well, very, very common up here. I'd say maybe like Rhode Island and above, Connecticut, all the way up to Maine. Again, closer to the coast you get, the more common they get as well. But yeah, that's a good tip for region guessing northeast US as well. So basically, like what you see in these ones, just in the US as well. Obviously, it goes for Wales and Scotland and Ireland as well. And then, I mean, in the Mediterranean, I mean, look, there are rocks everywhere. I'm not doubting that this is the only place in the world where there's rocks, but Mediterranean as well. But you should you should be able to tell the Mediterranean and Scandinavia apart. Like, even like after 5 games of GeoGuessr. So that's the first one. Bit long-winded. They will be shorter, but that one's quite varied and takes quite a bit of explaining for you. It doesn't really. It's just rocks, but I love to ramble. Next up, I'm going to stick in Europe for you, because, as you can't tell, I am European. As much as us in the UK don't want to admit that, I am European, and it's closer to home, so I know more about it. And next up is I'll title it Coastal Northern Europe, and this is on locations. I would say I couldn't really find any in England because it's quite hard. But I've got Denmark, Netherlands, Belgium, and probably northern France. I mean, you could probably extend it to Germany you definitely extend it to Germany and Poland as well. So what I'm talking about here is the dunes. So as you can see, we've got coast to the north. You can tell by the compass there. So the sea is obviously here, and in this area of mainland Europe, the coast goes upwards when you're next to it. So the beach will be here. So you see, on countries like Denmark, where it is, again, it's quite hard to region guess, because a lot of it is just sort of flat. Oh, we got some shit cam here, apologies, but you can still get the hint. But a lot of it is flat and sort of looks the same and is hard to guess. This is a very good way if you can't actually see the coast. It's a good way of knowing that you're next to the coast. So you obviously just click north, you line it up, and you can tell where the angle of the coast from here as well. So you know you'd be on this coast here, and then here you'd have coast to the north. So yeah, you just scan around and find somewhere for that. And I've put a couple in from Holland as well. This one I think is man-made. So they are called dikes, and that is the proper geographic term for it. And they're basically just like water blockers, so to stop flooding, I guess. So yeah, this one's man-made. So again, you can tell you've got the coast to the north of us. Was this actually on the islands? No, but yeah. So kind of hard to get the country here, maybe between Denmark and Netherlands, but at least you know you're on the coast. And again, you can always use your compass. Your compass is always your friend, and it will help you line it up. I've got one here, which again, on this side. So to the south of us this time, we're on the Dutch islands. So we've got the coast of the south here. So that actually would be very, very helpful. Say you're on high multis. I mean, a lot of the times in Holland, there's not many points to play with, but you're on high multis. You're both on pretty low points, and you need to pull a Dutch region guess out your ass. Where are you thinking in Holland that would have coast to the south? So not many places. That chances are would put you on the islands, and as you can see, super, super flat. I mean, it's Holland. It's one of the flattest places on Earth. But you see the coast to the south there? You see how the land sticks up a bit? Yeah, that's how you pop that region guess off, and hopefully get one of those islands. I've got a French one in here as well. So a lot of it down here is harder to find because, as you can see, it's a bit more built up. So, yeah, not as... but I found this location is pretty cool. I think it's on some, like, man-made bridge island. I don't know what you'd call it, but it's super, super cool. We've got that there. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. But yeah, as you can see here, we'll have the sea to the north. So that is pretty much that. It's self-explanatory. So yeah, all along here, really. Yeah, I mean, I always think Denmark when I do it. So that's my tip for that. But yeah, it can be other countries, but there's other tips you can use to find those countries, but that is just that one there. And then next one, we're moving out of Europe, and this is, well, region guessing Australia, the Australian outback, which is very, very hard. I mean, a lot of it is red. A lot of it is just a big bowl of red dirt, and it's sort of discovering and figuring out what shades of red are where, what different kinds of shrubbery are where, what road lines, like rumble strips and all of that, which is a nightmare. But, so, Queensland, you'd automatically think here, that you're like, right, you're in the outback, it's just going to be, you know, red, dusty dirt. But if we go into Queensland, northern Queensland is actually really quite lush and green. Varying levels of lush and green. I mean, a lot of this is probably learning which road is which. There's not many out here, so road angle does help you out as well. But as you can see, up here, it's a bit drier. Certainly sort of more Northern Territory vibes. But once you sort of go more into the interior, yeah, I mean, this will only be Queensland, really. This certain kind of lushness. So that's actually a really sort of helpful tip. Because again, you look here and you imagine, right, that's just going to be sort of the same stuff as here, but it's a bit more tropical. You get a bit more rain in there, as you can see. Sort of unique shrubbery as well. It's a mix between, I mean, it's still dry, but yeah, you've got grass. You've got this lush sort of green grass, which, I mean, this one's not as much, but again, it's sort of learning your roads and learning which ones are which, but just showing you that it's not actually just a big bowl of dirt. The further you go sort of more inland though, these ones I just put in to sort of show you what it's like in and around this area. So obviously more lush and tropical here, and then you're going further away from the coast, so further away from the rain, obviously, inland. Here is more just sort of big, dry, what you imagine from the Australian outback. See more inland, further closer to the coast there, lush and green, and then just a little bit over, and, well, death. Yeah, nothing really grows here apart from a few short shrubs. But if you just say the Northern Territory Road, that's still a bit lush and green there, but certainly like down here, that's what you imagine the sort of Australian outback would look like. And then yeah, they are, so it's just learning what is sort of different in the Australian outback, and this one is probably the most recognizable, the Queensland outback. Again, if you look in, I'm waffling a bit here, but if you look in the New South Wales outback, I mean, it's starkly different. So if you see, and look, I'll just show you the difference, because when it's green as well, you can be like, well, Victoria's green, but you're more built up, so the roads aren't as long, and I mean, you can see this is pretty starkly different again. So just have a click about, honestly. Play the Australia map over and over. But yeah, it's learning different shades of green, really. So you've got trees here. So that's it. Actually, I didn't mention that. So when it's literally no trees, no sort of like big vegetation, just the grass, that will help you out as well. So yeah, what I'm trying to do here is show you how to sort of region guess countries which are quite hard to region guess. Thailand for one. This bit is, I mean, obviously you've got the hilly bit up here, but like the rest of it is sort of like, I know this is sort of split green and then sort of red dirt, but this bit's quite hard to region guess. But it is actually quite a big country, and there's quite a lot of points on offer, and that's because of the peninsula. And if you can tell the peninsula from the mainland and your opponent can't, there's big points to play on there, and it's actually really quite simple. So the number one rule is your palm trees. So certainly this area, this sort of like vertical line here, I mean, Indonesia is full of palm trees anyway, but sort of your big oil palm plantations, that's what I think of when I think of that area. So if you know you're in Thailand or whatever, and you see big oil palm plantations, you're not really going to be over here. Again, there's a few palms dotted about everywhere, but like massive abundance of palms can't think of anywhere else to click. Yeah, click Thailand. Again, mountains as well. I mean, as I said, the Chiang Mai area is pretty hilly, but you don't tend to see as many palm trees, so you should be able to tell that apart. I'll just there's more stuff, so I'll talk you through some more. We've got palms here, so you can see. So yeah, mainly just showing off the palms. We've got a flat bit here with them as well. But it is, on the whole, I mean, there's flat bits and it's hilly, but we've got rubber trees as well. So you see these thin sort of, I think I've got actually one right here. Yeah, super thin, and then greenery at the top with this sort of whitey grey spottiness, if that makes sense. They're pretty unique looking. So if you can tell these mixed with these, this is actually, what a luck I found, honestly. This is just typical Thai peninsula, you know. Region guessing actually where in the Thai peninsula is a bit trickier, but again, if you go down here and they go up here on big multis, that could literally be game. So yeah, big one. And rubber trees as well. In terms of telling it apart from the rest of this area, where you could sort of get caught out by the other palm trees, the rubber trees are a big one. So see them, click the peninsula. I think this one here is just another one, but I'm just showing off the different kinds of palm trees as well, so they're thinner. That actually doesn't do it, but the pole tops as well, I said I wasn't really going to get into, but I'm just remembering now I've seen that pole. But the insulators on the top, if you've got more than 7, I know this one doesn't, but count the insulators. If you've got more than 7, it'll put you down here, and then maybe one up here, but again, not a meta guide. Go and look at that yourself, because I'm not 100% sure on stuff like that. The next one, so apart from the palms, this is just what I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to show off like a pretty beautiful location. So you got your palms here as well, but these, so don't really know how to describe them, but they're pretty unique looking mountains as well. You find them sort of dotted around everywhere, but certainly by the coast, certainly in like island form. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how to explain it, but like they're pretty unique, sort of like sticking up quite sharply, and they're like freeform a bit. There's not really much to them, like sharp drops. They're a bit sort of all over the place. Super cool and beautiful. And that, yeah, that will put you on the peninsula as well as northern Vietnam as well, and coastal Vietnam is what I associate this with. Certainly the Ha Long Bay is probably, I'll go in and I'll show you, because again, it's beautiful. If I can remember where the road is, it's this. Hopefully it's official coverage. But yeah, this is Vietnam, so again, you're driving right here. It's more sort of built up, and I mean, there's built up areas in Thailand as well, but yeah, just showing off Ha Long Bay. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world, deleting that from that. But on the subject of that as well, this is probably the more touristy bit of Thailand as well. I know Bangkok is up in Chiang Mai, and maybe a bit close to Laos as well. But yeah, certainly down here, if you sort of see more infrastructure, maybe more sort of stuff that will attract sort of Western hippies and free spirits who want to find themselves on their gap year. Yeah, certainly around Phuket, I think, is the main touristy bit. But yeah, certainly all along the peninsula. But Thailand's a pretty touristy country anyway. But yeah, that's the Thai peninsula for you. So next up and finally is, well, I've just called it Peru Valleys. And you guessed it, it's, well, valleys in Peru. And it's talking about how we've got like pretty dry sort of area here, sort of at a camera adjacent, where you imagine, and you sort of, again, sort of like with the Queensland locations, where you're like, right, it's just going to be dry, dirt, like dusty, nothing really grows there. But in your valleys, coastal areas of Peru, it's actually quite lush and green. So these sort of planted fields here, very sort of Peruvian, coastal, again in the valleys of Peru, and just showing that stuff does actually grow there. So don't really guess inland as much. When you see flat areas, I mean, it's logical, you know. The map doesn't lie. You can look at the sort of topographical arrangement of it, and you're in a valley, right? There's gonna be a road running through it. This one's a good one. So you've got steep hills on both sides, and then, I mean, they need to utilize whatever flat bit they can to grow shit on. So you get these sort of low, grassy, I don't actually think it's grass, but don't know what they're growing there, but you don't really need to know. It's green and pretty recognizable. But, yeah, and then, did I show that one? Yep. This one here as well. So yeah, it's close to settlements as well. Yeah, just stuff sprouting up. I'll go through here, but yeah, it runs sort of all along the coast. I was just doing it closer to the Atacama just because, well, to show off that it's not actually as dry as you think. Stuff does grow there. I'll go the one last, well, I've got two up here, but I'll just show off. Yeah, again, flat, green, yep. And then I'm going to pop to, so lots of different stuff growing, but I'm going to pop to Chile here, and there's not as many sort of like valleys, so this is higher altitude. Yeah, you're properly in the Atacama here, and I'm going to click on this, and nothing growing. You will get stuff like this in Peru, but it won't be as... So this is flat here, you've got a flat bit here, but nothing growing, nothing on either sides. You're just fully in the interior of the driest desert in the world. So if you're on a location, I mean, you've got road lines here and car, which will help you. But if you are on a location where you don't have that to help, and you see these sort of like quite recognizable locations, again, Bolivia, not really a thing. The sort of like steep valleys with stuff growing in. But yeah, again, it runs all the way along in your sort of coastal settlements. And I think that is that. I have a few more that I can take you through. Apologies if I waffled on that a bit. It's the first one that I've like kind of done with it, so finding my feet a bit. And I did just nail original Lucozade, so I think I'm pretty jacked up on sugar. But yeah, that's 5 unique locations in the world, which should hopefully help you reach and guess. Let me know if you enjoyed that. Let me know if you want to see more of that. Let me know if you would like me to shut up a bit more, but in nicer words than that. And I will see you soon.